And when I came here, how do you prepare yourself, you or the coach and your team, tomorrow ahead Namungo?
It's a tough game. Namungo is a very good team. They have very good experienced players on their side. So we anticipate a very strong game, and the players know this. And every game is tough in this league, so we have to give everything that we have, our focus, full energy towards this game. So hopefully we can get 3 points at home.
Namungo now have Kocha which have very experienced here in Tanzania Premier League. Do you see that will give them momentum, will increase their mentality ahead your team tomorrow?
Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola mnene.
No, it's Juma is a very good coach. I respect him a lot. He knows Tanzania Premier League very well. So of course, I don't know how much time he's been working with them, with the team. I don't know if he's influenced Bado. Maybe it's still too early, but I think of course he will give them his experience, and we can expect a tough game. It's never easy to play Namungo, and Juma is going to give them an extra edge. So I'm glad that it's not 3-4 games after he came. I think this is his first game, no, on the bench. So I'm glad that we're still early in his reign. So hopefully they still haven't gelled in his system yet.
Coach, 11 points, 9 matches. Can you tell me briefly how the league is going to you until now?
The league has been good, to be honest with you. We had tough games, but there were games where we should have gotten more points, and we walked away with 0 points. So I think the level of maturity, maybe the players are we have a lot of young players. They need to understand that sometimes to win these kind of games, you need to play full 90 minutes. We're learning, but we learn on the job. So we played good games. Even some of the games that we lost, we played really good, but we made some mistakes, and we have to minimize those mistakes. And the players understand it. And the best way to learn is to make a mistake and then learn from that mistake. So I think as the season goes, I think we'll be better, inshallah.
Okay, I want to know the areas which you see there is a lot of mistakes on your team. I'm talking about the weakness, which sometimes led you and your team to lose a lot of matches. How are you working to that areas, and what are those areas?
The areas, the ones I can think of now is just lack of concentration. We lose sometimes easy passes in critical spaces on the pitch, like the midfield, and how to deal with that situation. When you lose the ball against a very good team with good opponents, they can punish you. So just by understanding that we need to keep the ball better, we need to take care of the ball better, and then we need to be concentrated in defensive situations where when we lose the ball, what's our next action, right? How can we defend that situation? It's an emergency situation, but how can we be better in that emergency situation? I think that's the biggest thing we talked about. We worked on a lot, so I think if we minimize those mistakes, we can be a much better team.
Okay, can you say that you are not satisfied on where you are now in Tanzania Premier League, and what's your goals, you as a coach?
Yes, you as a coach or a player even, you can never be satisfied with losing games. So my biggest goal is how can we minimize mistakes, how can we win more games, and how can we score more goals and concede less goals. This is what every coach in the Tanzania Premier League wants, but our job is to do it, and our job is to make it better and help the players find out the right answers. So my target is to make this team the best possible. So last season we finished number 5, but last season is finished now. This is a new season, so we need to push again, and we need to finish as high as we can in the table.
Coach, how do you handle those pressure games, like when you're going to face Simba, when you're going to face Yazam, when you're going to face Dar es Salaam Young Africans? How do you handle that pressure from outside, from inside of the pitch?
For me personally as a coach, I try to take as much pressure away from the players as possible to make them feel okay, because the fans are going to be there. When you play those big games, the fans will always have an impact on your performance. But what I try to do is I try to take the pressure off of them by showing them different ways to cope with pressure in these big games, giving them some experience in those big games. So it's not easy, it's very difficult to come into Chamazi or to play against Yanga or even Simba in those small stadiums where the noise is even loud, and every mistake you make, the fans will make it. They press you. The fans press you. Not only the players. So it's not easy, but you know, to play those big games, you have to learn. You have to live those moments. It's a privilege. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a privilege to play those big games. So the players know, and they have to learn from those situations, so that the next time they face that kind of pressure, they can be more composed. They can control themselves and their anxiety much better.
Coach, I want to know, when you lose the match and you are going to face another match, how do you motivate yourself? You are the coach.